The following presentation shows the draft 2022 budget for the town of Princeton. The budget is subject to change before second reading on February 17th, 2022. The RDOS Board of Directors encourages you to provide feedback before then. Here's RDOS Manager of Finance, Jim Zaffino.
The following presentation is a high-level overview of the budget, and it's 500 pages, and here it is. To view detailed budgets, please visit the RDOS Regional Connections interactive website. To review any of the slides presented in this video, please hit pause. The following slides provide information about the RDOS Legislative Foundation. Each regional district is a corporation. The RDOS has 9 electoral areas represented by rural directors elected to their position. The 6 municipalities represented on the board appoint their members. Regional districts are not taxing authorities. Regional districts do not tax municipalities. Regional district taxes are based on the services, not the location. Some regional district services are legislated, including general government, solid waste management plans, and E911 telecommunications. Most regional district services are by choice. Property in a rural area will receive their tax notices from the Surveyor of Taxes, and the taxes are paid to the province. The following slides cover taxes. To review any of these slides, please hit pause. The following slides provide information about the RDOS budget structure. A regional district is different than a municipality. Regional districts create a separate budget for every service it operates. For the 2022 budget, the RDOS has 156 separate services and therefore 156 separate budgets. Separate budgets ensure only those who participate in the service pay for the service. The budget process launched in October 2021. The budget includes approved change requests. Budget workshops were held November 5th and 9th, 2021. The provincial legislation requires the budget to be adopted by March 31st, 2022. The following slides provide information about RDOS services. You can hit pause at any time to review the slides. You can also visit RDOS Regional Connections to view detailed budgets. Regional services are services where the majority of the electoral areas and municipalities participate. For regional services, all properties in the municipality and electoral areas contribute. Regional services include heritage, conservation, corporate facilities, legislative services, and regional trails. Rural services are services where the majority of the electoral areas participate. For rural services, all properties in the electoral area contribute. Rural services include animal control, electoral area administration, and planning. Shared services are services where only those participating in the services pay for the shared services. Local services are services where only a defined group of properties within an electoral area participate. Examples include fire protection and water systems. Staff begin building budgets for each service in October. The 2022 budget is prepared along with the additional 4 years. New requests or changes come forward as program change requests. If approved, the item is added into the draft budget. The official title of the draft budget is 2022-2026 5-Year Financial Plan. The board can make changes to the budget up until it is adopted. Feedback from public consultation is presented to the board along with the Budget Bylaw for second and third reading and adoption. By legislation, the budget must be adopted by March 31st, 2022. This presentation is for the regional district taxpayers that live within the area of the town of Princeton. And the first slide talks about the actual tax, property tax amount that Princeton shares in the services, and it is 2.61% for 2022. As you can see, it is slightly lower than last year, 2.78%. It also shows the tax assessment increase for the total assessment within the area. And in this case, it's 20.78, which is lower than the regional district average, which means that the town of Princeton will bear a lower overall tax burden for the services that participate and pay. Administration overhead is something that has been discussed by the board, and I thought it might be interesting just to briefly discuss about it here. What the administration overhead includes is the costs to run these departments, not the wages themselves. These are the supportive costs, and they are human resources, legislative services, finance, corporate services, and information services. One of the biggest increases in the overhead from one year to another, especially for 2022, is information services. To keep up with technology, we've had to purchase some upgrades for the equipment. COVID hasn't helped. So it does increase the administration overhead percentage, and this slide actually shows what the increases are, and it shows a material increase in IT. Each year, the board is asked if they would agree to an increase in service level or increase in staff to support the 156 services that we do provide. But with that, there has to be a business plan, and the business plan is provided to the board, and the board votes on each one of them. Also included in the asks are the grant and aid requests. A number of different organizations ask the board for various grants to support their services. The board reviews them and determines how much each, if any, will get any funds. And this page here shows what those areas that asked for the funds and if they got any. If you want to look at the slide more detailed, please press pause now and you could read that. You can do that at any time with the slides. These are the FTE requests that the board considered, and they are itemized by who pays for it and how much they are over the 5 years. So it's not just the full-time equivalent, it could also be a service level request. And here is another 2 that the board authorized. Everything that you see here, the board authorized. There were some that the board declined. Program change requests, this would be for the engineering department, and you can see that it's split up through a large number of services. And the last 2 requests, again, these are very small. However, they do have an impact over the 5 years. Thought you may be interested in looking at and seeing the capital requests that benefit the area, so that each one of them are funded either through grants or through reserves. They had been taxed at one point or another, and the Princeton residents had paid into it. So this is one of the areas. So this is for the emergency 911. This one here is regional trails. This one here is a solid waste management plan, and this is a carry forward from 2021. This slide is just a comparison of 2021 to 2022 budget to show that there is a consistency between one year and another. One anomaly in the 2021 budget is that $7.2 million worth of capital projects had to be carried over from one year to another for various reasons or not. Also, one major cost that's in the budget is the composting. A majority of the $8 million that you see is funded from grants. The town of Princeton's tax requisition is $106,528. Of this, $793 is decreased from last year. So the tax requisition for Princeton is a 0.74% decrease. Once the non-market growth is taken into account, it's actually a 3.76% decrease. These are the reasons why there is a decrease, and in some cases the decrease could have been a lot more, but there was a material increase or an anomaly in the service that Town of Princeton pays, and I've got the reason and the service description here. If you press pause and are interested in seeing what the reasons are, you will see it in more detail. This is the tax requisition that the Town of Princeton participates in. It shows what the tax requisition is for 2022 and 2021. This is the tax requisition for all of the municipalities. I thought you may be interested in doing a comparison. And the next slide actually is the same type, but it's for the electoral areas. At the bottom it shows area I's in there twice, mostly because they have a new service, Apex Fire Department, and it shows that there's a abnormal increase because of the Apex Fire Department, and in the shaded area I've taken it out so that it shows what it would be without the Apex. This slide here is an example of the taxes per property values, starting at 500,000 to $1 million. It's important to note that this does not include taxes for the school, rural areas, only the regional district taxes, not any others. This shows a comparison of cost per capita. One of the things that would be common is the more residents in a service area, the higher the costs, and this shows what the cost per capita is rather than just shows what the assessment is and the cost based on the assessment. This is just a straight pie graph that shows where everyone is in the regional district budget circle, and this is information where you can review the budget. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. The board is looking forward to receiving your feedback on Draft Budget 2022.